Good morning. You guys can hear me.
Yes.
Good morning.
Start. Um, Yesterday we didn't have much. Um, Yesterday was struggling with B70. Now Saturday, we're expecting a move up. Then didn't even hit 370. Struggling even to hit a key level, to stay above a key level. So today should be day 3. We're expecting a pullback. So if you're not going to break this level again, we're gonna look at it. But if we are not gonna have a deep pullback, meaning on day 3 we're supposed to pull back. So if we're not going to retest the previous lows, if you're gonna reject going to the previous low levels, like so we have the 363 that we hit on Friday. If you're not going even to touch it, then it means the market still wants to go up. There's usually not a day. Sometimes you can have a whole day of coming down, but sometimes it can be just going down to reject the previous support and go back up, or we can go and break this support to create a new support, but still we are above this previous support, the 353 and 351. So those are the levels we'll be watching today. Now, the best day, usually the one I call D-Day, usually falls on day 5, and sometimes day 6. It continues with day 6.
I ain't gone.
Okay, so if we look at the daily chart, we had here a spinning top and a doji. So we had 2 days of indecision. And when you look at the stochastic, which I know most of you, I don't know if any of you look at it, on the daily, we are up here, we are overbought. So it means that pullback may be imminent, and we may get that pullback just because we've had indecision 2 days, and then we are at the top, we are overbought. When you're overbought, you have to come down. When you're oversold, you have to go back up. If you see this time, we were oversold, so we went up. This is the move, we went up, and it took a couple of days, and then right now we are overbought. So this period, September 1st, we were overbought, then we came down, it took all this time coming down. So this is the same thing we'll be watching for. And I told you guys, when you have 2 days of indecision, somebody has to make a decision. We can be overbought and you can still have some move up, but I'm looking into more of a bearish trend today. And if we break the previous support, then it means this bearish trend will continue into tomorrow. So that's for QQQ and SPY. Be the same thing. Yeah, so it's the same thing. So if you see previously, we were up here beginning of September, and then we were bearish for 2 months, the whole of September coming down until September 24th. 7th, we had a slight pullback and then we continued down. So this is what I mean. You can have a slight pullback and then we're still oversold. And then we didn't break the previous lower high. So we continued down until the 5th. And this was a indecision, a pin bar. Then we went back up. Okay. So now it's the same thing. So we're back up. So we are looking into, so here we had a spinning bar and then another spinning bar, and then we went up. But still we did not break 430. This is the previous high, 437. Let's see what it is. So we had three, this is the 4-hour chart, and this one we didn't break, the next 4-hour we didn't break, and the next one after market close, we still didn't break 437. If you look at the stochastic here, we came from down, we pulled back, but this is the 50. So if the 50 is the mid one, if you're not breaking above the mid, you can still go back down. So those are the things we're looking at today. I don't know if there's a squeeze. So it's squeezing on 15 minutes. Okay, so 15 minutes is usually short term. I like the squeeze on 30 minutes, 1 hour, because it gives us more time. But this one still can be good. It means if you're seeing a squeeze before market open, then it means you might break out or break down immediately the market opens. So what those people who want plays, immediate plays, when the market opens, you need to look for squeeze on 15 minutes or 30 minutes, because you get that breakout or breakdown immediately the market opens. Yeah. So yesterday I wasn't expecting much from the market. Now, Meta, I'm expecting a 1, 2, 3 bullish pullback on this Meta, meaning it has to create 3 consecutive lower lows or 2 consecutive lower lows and an inside bar. Okay. So we already have one, and then we had an inside bar. So it has to be, so I told you guys, it doesn't have to follow each other consecutive days, but the minute we are rejecting to break the previous support, then we have to give it another day, either have to break this 312, or it means this strategy is not gonna make, but we are still overbought even on Meta. So this is what we are watching for, and we are reporting earnings. We still have, I think, 2 weeks or what? Next week? The other week for earnings. So we still have time on this one to play pre-ER. So if we are pulling back, so that's a pullback strategy. So it means we were on a bullish trend, and you guys can clearly see it. We were trending up. We broke above 330, which was our key level. We retested the high we hit the previous earnings. This ER, we went all the way to 330. And then we had not retested this level up until when, and you guys remember Meta was on our key play. So the levels we were looking for was to break above 315, which we did, and then go to retest this 330 level. And it did, and slightly broke it. I think it went to 331. Okay, so this means after the pullback, if we still remain above 312, so this is of course, we are going to break this level. So this was the first lower low, and then we had an inside bar. Okay, so when we have an inside bar, it means we had a constriction. We're either going to get a breakdown or a breakout, but because we're expecting a 1, 2, 3 pullback, I'm looking into bearish trend for Meta. So we are supposed to break this to create and break this level. So we are supposed to break 312. That's not a question. We are supposed to break this for us to create a second lower low. Then on the third one, we're either going to create a third lower low or an inside day, another inside day like this one, meaning we'll be constricting. So here we created a range. We came from 324 to 312. And then on this day, we barely made any range. That's what an inside bar is. So we came from 321 to 315, about 6 points compared to here. It was about 12 points. Okay, so this is what we are watching for Meta to continue down three lower lows or 2 lower lows and an inside bar. I told you guys on Sunday, we demonstrated how this strategy is the best because after you're done with the pullback, because you have a level to watch for. If we don't go all the way to 286, you guys remember when Meta suddenly dropped to 286? So if we stay above 286, it will be a higher low, then it means we'll be going back up. So on your chart, you have to put, or those people who take notes or a reminder of something, is we need to stay above this level after the pullback. Okay, so this one on the daily, on this squeeze, the 50 is 307. So it means we can break 312 to go to 307. We still have this 297 or 298, and then we have the 286. So those are the 3 levels we're watching for the pullback. Now, if we reject, it means after this, and maybe today, because I'm expecting us to be bearish, if we are not going lower on Wednesday, tomorrow, we don't create a third lower low, it means we're gonna have an inside bar and then possibly gonna continue up on Thursday. Okay, so those are the important days. So for me, day 5, the D-Day this week should be today if we're getting a bearish trend, and then on Thursday and Friday, if we get continuation going up. So those are the key days I'm watching for today, and then Thursday and Friday. So probably these stocks that are having this strategy, they can continue going down into tomorrow. So watch, depending on the price action we get, we might hold the puts into tomorrow. Okay. Or if we're having a rejection on an inside day, then it means we want to go back up. So after we break 330, so 330, we have 384. That was from 2 years ago. That's the high, the all-time high from 2 years ago. So if we're going back to where we came from, the reversed here, bearish reversal, then we came here to 88, and then this was a bullish reversal. So all this time, our goal is to go back to where we came from, and we came from 384. So, and you guys can see it's forming a squeeze on the daily, on the weekly. So it means at some point, and on the weekly, we are still oversold. So it means we still have time to go up on the weekly. On the daily, we are overbought. Okay? So it means in the coming weeks, and because we are headed into earnings, we can have a squeeze either going up or a squeeze coming down. So a squeeze can go either direction, and this is the weekly. Don't see it. So we had a squeeze here 2021, and Meta went from 247 all the way to create the new all-time high, 384. And then after that, we had a reversal. So it's been a while since we had a squeeze, and this is what is forming on the weekly. But on the daily, we are due for a pullback. I hope those levels are clear for Meta. Yen was already, had already put its yen. I was expecting it to create 3 lower lows by yesterday. So yesterday, it had an inside. Yesterday, it had an inside bar. So here we had the first. So this was an indecision, but the first lower low. Then we had the second lower low, and then yesterday it had an inside bar. But if you look, we're still over bought. So we can either go lower to break this level. So it doesn't necessarily have to take 3 days. It can still, after creating 2 days and an inside bar, you can see some stocks that do this. They create 2 lower lows and an inside bar. And then on the 4th day, they still keep going lower to break this support. Okay. So this was a slight higher low on the 1 hour. It had a squeeze here, it went up. I saw Leroy was trading calls for this. So swinging calls would be still risky because it had not confirmed that it was done creating the lower lows. Okay? So if this was now we came here, from here, and then here, the 2 lower lows, and then the inside bar yesterday, if we still retain the inside bar and we don't go lower, then it means it wants to go back up. But it can still go lower to create, because this was like a double bottom. It was not a clear inside, but it was slightly, just slightly above it. So this was still, it's still weak. It didn't give us like a clear higher low. So there's a chance we can still go lower to create an obvious 3 lower lows. Or if we have another inside day, then it means on Wednesday, tomorrow, we should be looking at going back up. The levels for these, I still haven't mastered the levels for this stock because I just barely started looking at it from Kavi insisting. I look at it every day. Look at SMCI, look at it. So now I have to master the levels for this stock. So obviously we have to look at the previous support, 277. But if we are going to break this level, then it means we're looking at the 263 and the 228. So that's the last time when it came down all the way from 288, dropped to 228. If it filled this gap going down last time, it filled the same gap going up, then it means it can fill the same gap coming down. We've seen how it fills the same gap. So 288 to 228, this is a gap that you guys should have it at mind because we came down here and then you went back up and even broke this. So it means this is a very key gap to observe. And here it was just slightly above 228. Then it went and filled the same gap. So this is an important gap. So 213 went up. So it means when it's below 288, it's weak. It can fill that gap going down. 288. So we're still above it. So below 288, and we broke this. So when it broke that support, it broke 288, it means it's still weak. It can go lower. So anywhere between that gap from 288 to 228, if we do 50, this is 60 points. So 60 divided by 2, that's 30. So if we get 288 minus 30, just going halfway of that that gap that it's been respecting for a while, then it means from 288 minus 30, we're expecting it to, if it's pulling back, it can go all the way to 250 something. So 250. Okay. So that's how I look at it when you have a stock filling a gap. So it can either go halfway the gap, or it can go all the way back again to 228. So if any level above, if it creates any level above 228, it's a higher low, we'll be looking at going back up. But right now, the next support is to break this 317. So here we had this is a 4-hour, we had like a triple top when it didn't break, and then we saw it coming down on Friday. And then now, if we don't go to any level above this, so Leroy who was trading, if we keep going up, but it still rejects 317, then you'll be looking at puts, and then we'll be looking at it creating a third lower low. That's what SMCI. And then Google also creates 3 lower lows. And we have upcoming earnings next week. When you come on the daily, still has the same chart as Meta. So we were going up. Google, some of these stock after they split, I just don't focus on them so much. But it's still a good stock to play. The minute we are above 120, 130, you're usually supposed to go all the way to 138, and it broke this level and went all the way to 144. It was supposed to go to 144, but it rejected 144, hit 142 double top here, and then we had that pullback. So we have here like a doji. So it means, and it's overbought, we can get those two lower lows. So here we had the first lower low that was on Friday. Okay, so we came down. That is the first one. Then we pulled back. So the goal was to go back to this level. If you're not going back 142, then it means we'll be looking at puts today. And if it's puts, we have to break this level, the 138. And then the next level, when we are below 129, it can go to 120, 124, 118. It looks like we have 118 support. But so always in anytime Google is above 130, it's supposed to go all the way 138, then 144. So it filled that gap going up, but rejected 144. So coming down, this is the support to watch. If we're going to break 128 and we are at 138, so this can be a 10-point move. If we reject this, it's a higher low, we're going back up. If we're going back up, we need to break this level. So this is the, it has created a 52-week high. So it means going back, continuing, it can fill this gap on the daily to 157. And these are the 4-hour, 147 and 49, 152. But if we're coming down from this level, 100%. So this it rejected the 50. So the 50% On the 4-hour is 134. On the daily, we have this. So on the daily, we have to look at, we don't have to all the time at 50. We have to start from like what we discussed on Sunday with the Fibonacci. So this is also a pullback level, 78.6. So it can go to 130, can go to 61.8, 120, then 150 is at 113. But you can use the daily or you can use the 4-hour, which gives us levels at a slightly lower time frame compared to the daily. So in the 4-hour, we're looking at it going to 134, the 50% retracement. Okay, so these are the levels to watch as we head into earnings for Google. So those are the three that I'm expecting, that 1, 2, 3 pullback strategy. Hold on. So this was supposed to create 3 higher highs, but if you see, it's really struggling. It's been consolidating. So we hit this first one, but since then, it's not been breaking this level. If you see, that's barely breaking 200 for 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's overbought. So this is, I know, maybe some of you don't play this, but this can be a good play. And we had 2 days of indecision. So when we talked about this strategy on Sunday, I told you guys, if you see a stock is struggling to even create 3 higher highs, just get ready with puts. Okay, it's gonna have a bearish continuation. So the previous support 189. If it breaks it, it can go to 50%, which is 182. And it's this is, I know sometimes I miss it, but it's headed to earnings. It can be a good year, though it's not a big year, but it can move for days post and pre-ER. So here it had a consolidation, very weird consolidation. Then it was done consolidating, it broke out. Went from 170 all the way to 210. Okay. So this is the previous support, 170. If we break this, 182, 175, 167. So watch for this for a pre-ER move. Okay. That's one. PayX reported earnings. Did this ER. So even this struggled, and the same thing, consolidating for 4 days, barely breaking this high. So this reported earnings here. Then it went up to 118, pulled back, created a higher low, went and broke this 118. So if it's supposed to create 3 higher highs and it's struggling like this, so here we had a 3 higher highs, then it's been consolidating. So you guys know I like stocks that are consolidating, and we see it's overbought. So watch for a bearish trend going down. It's not a big ATR, but it can give you a good play. Okay, and this is it just reported earnings in September. So this strategy, I told you guys, I'll be focusing on it because it gives you play both going up and coming down. And you can be in those places for days. It's not just a one-day play. Okay, so this one, WFC reported ER on Friday. I know it's a small ATR, but those contracts, if you look at them, as much as it's barely moving, the contracts do move. So from Friday, still went up, created the first higher high. Then yesterday, the second higher high. So the daily, we had the first one here, the second one here, and the third. So we're gonna, and it's overbought. So after you create three, this was a pullback. This stock has been on a bearish trend. So this was a pullback. So after it's done pulling back, if it doesn't go to break this 43 point something, the previous high, then it means we are watching for the bearish continuation. And since it's overbought, we are looking at it going back down. But on the weekly, we see it's oversold. So after that pullback, probably, if it rejects this support, then it means it still wants to go higher. And you see where it came from? 47. I know it's not a lot, but these contracts, usually WFC has a lot of volume. Okay. And the last one, that strategy. Yes, I know it's been bearish for so long. Since July, all the way here, consolidation, doji, barely pulling back. But this is the daily and we have a squeeze. So guys, whenever you see a squeeze on the daily, we barely see squeezes on daily and weekly, but whenever you see it, like here we had a squeeze, it went from this level all the way to 192. I know it took time, but this squeeze on the daily gives you a play for longer. It's longer compared to a squeeze on 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours. So daily, it can squeeze after the breakout, it can continue for days or even weeks. So those stocks that you barely see the squeeze on daily, the minute you see one, please take keen note of them. So this one is squeezing, which is the other stock we saw it squeezing on the weekly. Is there anyone taking notes? Which other stock did we see was squeezing on the week?
UPS.
Huh? I've just talked about it today, a stock that is squeezing on the weekly. No.
I was looking at Spot this morning. It looks like it's squeezing on the weekly.
Weekly? I also gave a stock list of stock squeezing. Ooh. Oh, you see this one on the daily? Yeah, I gave the list of stock squeezing. So this one is squeezing on the daily. So
I think you have Amazon on that list, right?
Huh? Is someone asking a question?
Spot. If you click on the,
Huh?
I was just saying, if you click on the week, it looks like it's squeezing on the weekly too.
Okay, so it's squeezing both on the weekly and you see this squeeze here, it went up. This squeeze here, it came down. So it's squeezing both on the weekly, it's oversold. On the daily, it tried to go up. I hope you guys won't miss this. I know some of you don't even look at some of these stocks, but we are here to make money. And when the opportunity presents itself, please put an alert. This one, look at how this stock has been consolidating for days. So since it went to 163, then broke this level to 167. Since then, I just want you guys to see. So since then, no action. These are the stocks Shiba loves. And these are the stocks I look for. Consolidation for over a week. So how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18. Yeah, so today is a multiple of 3. 18, so 19. So every time it has a multiple of 3, you're looking at it because it either has to break out or break down. So this is the level to watch. You can put an alert or you can draw the line here, 147 and 163, 62, 160. So this is where it's been 160. So it's been trading on this range for 19 days. Okay. So we want it to break out of it slightly broke this. After we hit 163, it slightly broke it to 167 and then came back to the same range. So this is a good play and it's reporting earnings next week. This is going to be a good play. So it's either going to continue consolidating or we're going to get a breakout let's see if it has so it has a medium CPR. I posted the list for you guys. I don't know if there's anyone who does the homework on Monday to look at the CPR. So this squeeze, it has to break above 164. These are the levels you look at, the upper squeeze. So the upper level is 164. So inner is 161, upper is 164. And then here is 151 and 148. So it either has to break down below 148 or break out above 164. Now, because it came back to this mid level, it can go either way. It can either go back up. This is the 50 stochastic. It can either go back up to be overbought or it can go down to be oversold. When it's at 50, it can do either. Okay, so that's why it's squeezing. It's either. I can't tell you for sure it's gonna go up or go down. No. So we have to see the minute it breaks. If you see a wick below this 148 level, or you see a wick above the 164 level. So those are the things you're watching for. Because some people ask, I saw someone asking, how do you know which direction it's gonna squeeze out from? And you will know because the squeeze, if you're looking at a higher time frame like this daily, the squeeze after the squeeze is released. So this is what happens when this is squeezing and then it has to be released. So when it's released and you see it's breaking above 164, you will just know it's breaking out. If it's released and it's breaking below 148, then it knows you're getting puts. And it's not just on the daily, it's not a matter of trading it one day. No, you're looking at this and you're looking at this. So 182, above 164, 182, below 148, 129. It's not a squeeze. Anytime we look at the daily squeeze, it's not a one-day affair. So you see here, it finally broke out of the upper and then consolidated and then finally broke out. So even if it's not giving you a clear direction immediately, something has to happen because it was squeezing. And then we see here another squeeze and then it went up. So it's a squeeze on the daily and also on the weekly. Something big is coming with sport. And it's also going to report earnings. So this is a good squeeze. So those ones that we've seen on the weekly and the daily, please keep watch of those. Keep watch of those every day. You're watching them every day, not just one day, because the squeeze, you might miss the first day, but don't miss the second one. The one I usually give you guys, the list of squeeze, is not on a shorter time frame. Tesla is also squeezing. See, the one I give you guys is not the 1 hour or 15 minutes. I give you guys squeeze on a higher time frame. Now, Tesla is squeezing on the weekly. Okay, on the daily, we might not see the blue thing, but it's still in a tube. It's been trading in this tube since last earnings. So 212, 278, rejected here. So it's still squeezing on the daily, but we just don't have that squeeze, the blue thing. But on the weekly, look at the 4 hour. It's been in this tube. So we had a squeeze here, but nothing happened. Nothing happened. So for how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's why I told you guys, this earnings is going to be amazing for, for Tesla. We're either going to go above 300 again, or we're going to go below 200. This is going to be a good one. On the daily, we are overbought. On the weekly, where we have the squeeze, we are oversold. If you see here, we had a squeeze here in March. That week, it started. So the minute you're seeing the next week, it breaks out. So it means if we kept going on, this one candle is 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Back here, 5 weeks. So this was a move for a whole month plus. When you see this on the weekly, this means that the move that is coming, and because we're down here, we're either gonna go up or down. Whatever the move is the move is gonna be big. So I'm really anticipating for this Tesla ER. Now you guys are already putting in money even before we know which direction is different. Newbie. This money is coming. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush. It will tell us which direction is going. Don't be in a rush for those. I know the swings can make you good money, but if you are seeing this squeeze on weekly, it means it's gonna be a long move, not just a 1 week, can take a month, like with what we saw here. So don't be in a rush to put money and then you start losing money and then you start feeling bad and all that. Wait for it to tell us the direction. And I've seen a bunch of, I know EMU is a small ATR. So this one is also squeezing on the weekly. So look at this. EMU has not been, as much as all these other semiconductors, something has been happening. EMU, nothing. Look at the daily. Barely doing anything since September. So, and it's overbought on the daily, and it's in the mid band on the weekly. Okay. So the list I give you guys is not shorter time frame. If it's a shorter time frame, I will indicate it's either 1 hour, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes. But whenever I give a list, look on the higher time frame. So we had a squeeze here and nothing happened. So sometimes you can see the squeeze and then it fails. Nothing happened. It doesn't break support. It doesn't break resistance. But it's oversold on the weekly. And on the daily, it's also squeezing. So, and it's overbought. So it can still go back up or it can come down. So look at D-Dog, and it has earnings. So this can be a play before ER. We have a whole month to play it. So the last time it squeezed here, it came down. Last time it squeezed here, it went up. Okay, so D-Dog, not gonna look at all of them, but I've shared the list. So this list, I should have put it in the weekly watch list. There's a good one again. Now, this stock is a big ATR. It moves big time. And if it's on a trend, it goes down for days. So it's not been having any action for, since it hits, you can see here, this 561 level, and then this support. So, and it's overbought on the daily, and it's oversold on the weekly. So it's still, ooh, you guys don't miss this place. Don't know when it's reporting earnings. On the weekly, it has a squeeze. On the daily, it has a squeeze. Next week. So these are going to be good earnings. I told you guys, from this week onward, there'll be no excuse for not making money. Good earnings. All these are good ER. So ITSI, and ITSI has been in the list of stocks that has been bearish for long. Look at this. This is the daily chart. ITSI has been bearish since July, and it was still bearish even before that because it came from 144, 149, 149. Since February, this stock has been bearish since, it's not even that, 149. So since February, oh my goodness, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. It's been bearish for 7 months. Look at this. So from 149 down to, oh my goodness. So even if we get a 50% move, so it's already giving us an indication. These are the stocks I was telling you guys to watch for Lotos because it's been bearish, been bearish for a while. So any move or any indication it's pulling back. So this one was 61 and then this was 62. So this was a higher low and it kept going up the whole of yesterday. So guys, don't be stuck in those big ATR stocks. You don't look at these small ones because you can still make money out of those small ones. The list I gave that these stocks have been bearish for an extended period. This is what you're watching for. You want to get a higher low, 61, then consolidated for all these days, and then 62. So finally, it broke this level. And if you look yesterday, the contracts, because it's been bearish for long, the contracts paid if you look at it. So we still see, that this is not, the breakout has to be usually a move up. You see the Bollinger Band expanding up, or it's going to expand down. And it has earnings in November. So keep watch of this. It's usually a good ER. Here we dropped. It's just been dropping every earnings. Dropping. Okay. We saw the same thing with SE. It's just been dropping for months. Okay. So ITSI as weekly, and the weekly here, it's been squeezing and coming down on the weekly. So the daily, we have a daily squeeze. So we either expect a breakout or a continuation down. Even Roku, you can just easily tell stocks that have not been doing much. And I think earnings is coming. It's gonna be good ER. Good ER. So this is daily squeezing. Either continue down or we get a pullback. Okay. Oh, goodness. Yeah. You can clearly tell stocks that have been doing nothing for so long. So squeezing, it's not been breaking above 76 and this 38. So something has to happen until you see the white band going up. It's still in a squeeze for all this time, for all these weeks, since this last year. This May 2022, just squeezing, nothing has happened. So the day, and you guys know Roku came from 300 and something, 490, all the way down to 38. The day this stock starts going up, oh my God, you will not stop it, because just 50% is what? 200 plus. Okay? So, somebody saying NVIDIA. Even NVIDIA is going to squeeze at some point. This is the weekly. When you see this thing contracting, we are overbought. That's why I said, guys, if you're not breaking the previous levels, then expect we barely did anything yesterday. I think there were a lot of NR7 yesterday. Donna, I don't know what you guys want me to say about every day about this stock. I know it's reported earnings today, but we already discussed. We already discussed the levels. And I told you guys, Donna, if you're not writing down these things, then it means every day you want me to say it. You want me to say it every day, every day. It needs to break 323. Every day, every day. If there's nothing more to add, Donna, it's the same thing. It needs to break above 323. That's why I said I'm gonna wait until it reports earnings. It's the same thing. Nothing has changed. And I said, it's not in the list. Usually it's a good post year, but it's not under momentum and it's not under the W or W or M pattern. But it can be a lotto because it's reporting earnings. It has to be above 323, Donna. If it doesn't break 323 and goes below this is the previous support, 308, and we know it went all the way down to 303. So if it doesn't break this, it's going to 297. We looked at this on Sunday, or I don't know, even yesterday. If it breaks that to 297, it's going to 288. So there's no question of it has to be above 323. So either we're getting a call, we are riding it up to 323 because it's at 314, or if it rejects it, because you see it's clearly been consolidating. It's not been breaking this level since here. Since we came down, we consolidated. So these are the good stock I tell you guys about. If you see a stock after a drop, it consolidates. We call it calm after a storm. Okay? So today, post year, and you see it's in between on the daily. The weekly is over. Most of these stocks are oversold on the weekly, but on the daily, we are still bearish. So it's either we break above 323 to go up, or we break below that 308 to go down. These levels don't change. It's the same levels I talk about every day. I know it's reported earnings and I wasn't expecting much. That's why I didn't look at it to swing. So guys, these stocks, not all of them we are swinging overnight, because we need a direction. That's why I wait for post here to get a direction. Okay, so nothing has changed, Donna. It's the same levels. The same analysis we did is the same. Okay, it's the same analysis. So if I'm expecting a pullback on QQQ, then it means even these other stocks, NVIDIA, so NVIDIA, the same thing. If it doesn't break above 464, I want you guys to be confident with these levels. Okay. Now, we know tech stocks have been trending up. So if we have the banks, GS is financial stock. So if we have the banks trending up, we know the banks usually trend up together with oil stocks, energy stocks together with the airlines and hotels. So if we are having GS going up, then it means the tech stocks will be going down. Okay. So that's why I'm expecting a pullback for QQQ. So it means if the other stocks are pulling back, it's not under that 1, 2, 3 pullback, but you can see we can get a pullback anytime we're getting a pullback or a trend. Count 3 days. So if it's a pullback, count 3 days. If it doesn't go back after 3 days, then that trend will continue for another 3 days. We are overbought. Okay. Levels don't change. The same thing. Today, I'll talk about the same levels tomorrow. Again, you guys can hear me. Even when you go watch the videos, it's the same levels again and again and again. What is 14 points down? Charity, which stock are you talking about? NVIDIA.
NVIDIA.
What did I say about SMSI? I was expecting it to create 3 lower lows. And I told you guys, if you're seeing SMSI here, it means even the other semiconductors, we're going to go down. There's no way one stock in a sector can have that strategy and then the rest will be going up. Very rare. So this is what I said yesterday when we were talking about SMSI. It can create that lower low and then we can have an inside bar, but it can still continue down. And yesterday we were expecting pullback for QQQ. Discounting days, guys. I know, and I told you guys yesterday pre-market, don't fall in love with the pullback. Don't fall in love with calls. We will pull back, yes, but we were supposed to go down. So this is not a shock. If you go watch Sunday, when we're discussing this 1, 2, 3 pullback, I said, if SMSI is in this list, even the other semiconductors are also going to go down. Okay, so this is what it's just a pullback. It doesn't mean we're going back up until the third lower low is formed. It has to be a clear one. The same thing I said about Tesla. Wait, because it can go on. Don't fall in love with this. If you're getting calls because of this, then you're doing the wrong thing. It has to create those lower lows. So this was a third one. You have to clearly see it has rejected this, it has created a higher low, it's going back up. That's when you can get a call. But if you're getting a call before confirmation, you're just sinking your money for no reason. This is the best strategy to trade, because you know this I will not have been happy celebrating all inside day. No, I have to wait for the next day, because this inside day can turn into it breaking, especially this one, because it it was like a double bottom. So I can't call this exactly an inside day. You have to see a clear higher low and a lower high. But this was like a double bottom. So it was still bound to go down. And if SMSI, I said on Sunday, if SMSI has this strategy, it means all other semiconductors are going to go down. There's no way you can have only one semiconductor with this strategy, and then the rest are going up. Okay, so this one already has one, it's overbought. So these are you're watching for all this the entire sector. And yesterday was day 2. And day two, we are usually supposed to get a clear bullish trend, but we did nothing. It was nothing. The range was so small, a very tiny range. So of course we are coming down. Okay. I'm so exhausted. I haven't been so long since I've seen this not behaving. But earning is coming. Something has to happen during this ER. It has to go back up or continue down to 315 and below. Okay. So in the meantime, don't fall in love with those. We've been bearish. Don't fall in love with those pullbacks, especially if they are very shallow pullbacks. Don't fall in love with them. There are no questions. Stop. Charity, do you remember what I said about SMCI when we were talking about 1 to 3 pullback? If it's there in that list, the others are also going to drop. There's no way they can be just. So Leroy, when you are saying you want to swing calls, that was not a smart move. Because this strategy has to complete itself. You have to wait for it to complete until you see a clear high and low. But when you're seeing this is not a clear high and low. This is like a double bottom. It has to be 3 clear lower lows or a clear inside bar. The problem with me, when I do strategy, I see long term. But the problem with many of us, we see short term that day. So something happens that day, we are all like, oh, we're going to heaven. And I said, no, don't think we're going to. And actually, yesterday morning, I said, don't think we're going to heaven with that pullback. We are bearish. We're supposed to go down. When I do those strategies, they give you a longer time. So I'm usually like, okay, we're expecting 3 lower lows. That's what I'm expecting to happen. So if you go and say, okay, you're tired of the bearish trend, I want to go back up, then you'll mess up. Okay. Any questions? GS is still our key play today for CR. The same levels, Donna. I don't have to repeat the levels every day. If you've not mastered those levels, then start trying to discuss with someone every day until you master them, because nothing has changed. It has to be above 323 to go up, or if it breaks below 308, it's going down. Now, if we see the tech stocks are going down, then it means the banks can be trending up today. So GS is a top play post here.
And the banks are reporting with good profits today, except Goldman Sachs, I guess, reported a loss.
Oh, you reported loss?
Yeah, Goldman Sachs reported a loss, but everybody else so far reported.
Now, the thing with the earnings, they can report a loss, but the guidance is what matters. So you have to read the guidance. What they promise for the next quarter is what matters. because whatever they've already made a loss, the public can react that loss, but it's what they tell us. So next quarter, this is what is going to happen. Okay, so you can see a stock, it has reported losses, and then what happens? It goes up. The guidance is what matters. So today, if it's going down, it has to stay above 308. If it breaks 308, then it means we're going lower. But if it breaks above 323, we're going back up. So let's watch for it today. Now, if the tech stocks are trading down, day 4. So I said, this is day 3. If we are pulling back and we're not going to retest the previous support level, so whatever is going down, look at the previous support. If we don't break it, then it means we have done the pullback, we're going back up. But anytime we are on day 3 and we create a higher low, we can start going up and then go up continuation into day 4. So on day 2, if you see it's a contraction and we are not barely, like yesterday, QQQ was barely breaking 370. That was a clear sign we are weak, we're going down. Okay, I have to go, guys. I said I will start early so that I finish early.
So for Goldman Sachs, when it goes down to what?
We have to break this level. And the 303, this is the previous, it was supposed to go to 302 last time. So it rejected 302 and created a higher low and went back up to 323. Okay, so then it came down here. But since it hits a higher low at 308, it has never gone back to 323. So that's why I'm saying it either has to go to 323, or if it breaks below 308, we're going to this 303, 297, 288. So those are the levels we are looking at. Above 323, we know it goes to 329, 335. These levels, since you guys met me, those people didn't know me until July, we've been saying the same levels for GS since July. They don't change. The levels don't change. So this kind of earnings, that's why I say I like the earnings pre-market, because if nothing is happening, you will know. If we are not going to 3, even if it doesn't touch 316 or 323, we are getting puts. So here, don't be in a rush to get whatever contract. Wait and see what direction it's taking you. So we know it's still weak, it's still bearish. We barely had any pullback. This pullback, he didn't even go to above 323. So still, it either has to go up or come down. Now, the reason why I'm saying it's either or is because it's right here in the middle. When on the daily, the stochastic, like you see this time, it came down to the middle, then went back up. So here, it can either go down or go up. It's in the middle. But the stock is still bearish. We're still bearish. So this is either an opportunity to pull back or a bearish continuation. Okay. For me, I'm more on the pullback. I had not seen the results. But if they had a loss, I don't know. They usually don't give a guidance immediately. Sometimes it takes before they have to finish the call. But if you're listening to the call, you can hear what they're promising shareholders. We will do this, we will do that, we'll recover, we'll make it. Those are the guidance. That's the guidance. What they anticipate to make the next quarter is what makes a stock move up, even if it reported losses. Okay, so guys, don't look at this GS post here. Okay. I have to go.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Virginia. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.